apply and also develop basically from there, okay, it's actually a bonus for you guys to shine out basically for those evaluation and the marks at the same time, there, right? But it's all about the matters of how well basically you understand to develop basically the skill that we have actually have been taught to you guys directly, and you apply them back, okay, for your assignments there, for your illustration at the same time. Okay, that's basically one of the most important thing there. Okay, because if we basically, okay, don't see basically, don't actually write experience, okay, from your kind of submissions that apply all the hardships that we actually been go through there, right? Okay, what's the point basically? The whole thing is going to be there, right? Okay, so that's why if there is more time that you guys can actually change, those who really want to make those changes directly in the last minutes, this is the right time, right? And of course, okay, for me directly, I've been talking to some of my friends basically, okay, in the industry, okay, yesterday also at the same time directly after we have those kind of classes directly. The things that we saw basically came from all these new generations nowadays, right? You guys don't have that kind of pure kind of soul and heart there, okay, when it comes to develop basically your kind of principle on your kind of understanding and also your kind of mentality mindset, okay, when it comes to interact with those social media there. What I'm saying this because, right, this has happened also to my nephews, okay. He actually had been graduate degree in graphic design, okay, and he actually can draw and had the set of skills that I actually have been seen before when he was in the early stage, okay, that I saw basically he has that kind of package that can grow more further, but of course, okay, take a little time there, okay. Everything will come with the process there, right? But when it comes to interactions, your kind of commitment in your social medias there, okay. First thing there, okay, don't seek for any validations, even though we need them basically, okay, for our reputation and of our what we call that ranking of what we call that in order to make a good trust, okay, on the audience itself, the right thing. But don't use that kind of validation, seek for them too much, hunger for like, okay, kind of what we call that buttons there, right? Okay, and respond, okay, from what we actually have posted, right? Okay, because this is basically only a playground for us, okay, especially as a creators, as a designers there, okay. Look at as a part of your background as a playground, and you need basically to document your process of working there, okay, by using the digital platform these days in order to make some exchanges or convert basically those traditional kind of way that you have to print your portfolios, put into the folders there, right? And then whenever that you want to present to your clients, you bring the folders together there, okay? So even though that kind of particular method still relevant, okay, because we need basically to print out some of the works there, okay, just in case you might going to be lose that files there, okay, maybe the file going to be corrupted, maybe, okay, or you forgot to update into your social media in the future there, right? It might happen there, right? But we have to use this advantage right now, okay? Social media is a part platform that we have to expose ourselves positively, either in personal life that people want to see nowadays. A lot of people have that kind of busybody kind of mindset, right? They want to get to know a lot of what is going on to that person basically, right? Whether they like it or not, okay? They like to what we call that, to get to know about other people's kind of life there, right? Okay? But make it a bit more moderate, okay? You guys know actually how to control them. But the most important thing is that you have to promote is what you do basically for your life. Maybe not all, even though I'm also doesn't actually show all of the things that I've been working on, but some of the thing that you might think is very going to be beneficial, hopefully for other people to see. Okay, even though your ugly sketches that you thought that right, okay, it will help some people that somehow to see basically how the things works there, right? Not only a perfections of your works only there. People always thought like these new generations, I think, okay, I also felt the same things back in the day, basically there, okay. Just want to show all the good stuff there, okay, of our works there. Okay? All the shit that you saw that you actually been working on, basically you think it's ugly, you don't want to show it, okay, because you might people say that you cannot draw or the thing is look bad, okay, whatever the things that you have in mind that negatively, okay. But I think the best thing that people you have to be a part of the process, you want to show the process of people is how hard basically you've been working on it. Okay, the things behind the story behind basically the perfections of your works. Basically, you thought is perfect, right? Okay, that can be suitable for you to execute or to showcase, right? But show basically the process, there, okay. People want to see that, right? Okay, so let people know, okay. At the same times, subconsciously you educate people there, okay, in a more subtle way. You don't have to explain them, but people can see visually that we can learn from those visuals there, okay, that you try to educate them in the process there, okay. And of course, okay, because from what I actually experienced, the more people will engage with your works, people will start to respond. Sometimes ask questions. Even though they will ask some silly questions, it's okay. You you have to learn to be sarcastic at the same time there, right? Okay, so don't take serious there. Some people just want to test you, want to tease you, even though they might going to be have that kind of infuriates of your work, for example, if because they don't understand the reason why you actually produce that kind of work. Sometimes they're right, okay, because a little bit kind of intrigue for them, not comfortable enough for them to see that kind of visual effect. But it's okay because you need to know and you need to understand the purpose why you produce that kind of things there. Either it will affected your kind of emotions. You feel good about that kind of work, even if it look grotesque or gloomy or show a lot of blood or that stuff that I can, but it will give you an ease of mind, peace of mind when you produce them. You feel happy about it and you don't harm other people direct physically. It's okay because that's the thing that's the process that you're going to develop your kind of creativities, your kind of skills and styles of producing your works in the futures. So don't let people say that why you actually produce like this one, okay? Why actually you write, okay, draw all this kind of stuff, okay? Unless they say want to improve your works there. Like, I think your line, if you actually can develop this kind of line, so for example, like those comment, okay, it will grow yourself. But when people say why they accuse them, right, okay, you produce this kind of, if you have that kind of reason, okay, that you actually can gather, right, okay, all those information and explain back again, then they want to hear, is good. Because you also develop your public relations kind of skills there at the same times. Okay? But there will come around that people just want to ask you, but they don't want to listen. Okay, it's okay. But they always a person going to interested about your works. Just trust me there, okay? And they will basically will need your kind of answers there, okay? So even though you don't have to answer them by verbally there, okay? You can actually write, put into those text there, okay? On the written there, okay? That kind of things there. So that's basically one of the best way basically you guys can actually expose yourself. This is what actually I've been experienced there, okay? That's why be more what we call that uh, be more open up, okay, in terms of sharing your kind of process of working there. It will basically beneficial you guys, okay? So trust me on that, right? Don't just hide yourself, okay? Even though you don't want to show your faces or whatever, there, okay, it's okay. Don't worry there, okay? Show more on your process of working there, okay? Let people know from your works there. I'm also have that kind of, I only basically expose myself, what we call that, lately there, okay? Because I kind of like want to, doesn't want to expose a lot of my development works too much, basically, because not because of copyright, because I try to discipline myself to focus more on the works rather than just showcase the thing we're not complete yet directly, or doesn't have any very strong progressions there on the works directly, on the line kind of works, or not yet directly. That's why I think one of the best way for me, okay, because people still want to learn and to understand about ourselves at the same times, other than knowing about the works. So I will expose a bit more on my kind of what we call a presence there, okay? But I'm still basically doesn't have any kind of, I'm still basically have that mindset that, okay, I don't give a damn about what people think about it, as long I learn to control a bit more on the presentations of myself at the same times, right? And learn also to develop also the way that we can interact with other people there, right? So learn from there, okay, and develop that kind of relation from there, okay. So that kind of things there, okay. So that's basically one of the things that you will build up basically your confidence. If you take a look back again nowadays, a lot of project owners or brand owners there, okay, nowadays, they doesn't use a third person or someone else to talk about their works or their kind of brand anymore. Why? Because we actually as a creators, we have to be more present, be more outstanding there, be more stand out there, okay, for these eras there, okay. Because back in the day, I always relying on someone else, even though I'm still relying on some of my partners there to do some of the works for me there, right? But it's time basically for the creators, people like you guys there, right, okay, to shine out, all right, to explain, to talk about our own works there. And that's one of the reasons why our presentations, I want you guys to open up your cameras directly to show yourself there, right? To present yourself there. Because in the traditional way, also we need to do the same thing. You cannot ask someone else there basically to talk about your works there. I had a few kind of experience there before that, when basically, right, I asked some of people, okay, some of my clique people back in the day, right, okay, to talk about my works. And when we actually put some trust on it, because they actually the one who actually approached us, most of it become a disaster then, okay? Because people don't actually study enough about the ideas behind our creations. People just look at those holistic, okay, the physical appearance only, right, okay, about our works there. The story behind that, they doesn't know how to explain. Even though when actually, right, I explain to them, they doesn't have that kind of ability to absorb basically that kind of meaning and the personal kind of what we call that relation between those ideas there. It's really hard there. But I find one or two person that I met before, a friend of mine also working, and become a client for me, okay, and they basically can explain back again before basically I explain about why I should produce those work that they can actually write. They kind of can read the emotions there behind the works they write, and they can actually relate it to the person who actually create them at the same times, right? That's basically one of the things that I find quite very interesting there. Okay, because I find 3 to 4 people, okay, but most of them it basically is a ladies there, right? So a woman there, so that make me feel a bit more good about it, right? Okay? Because they can actually write felt about it, but not the one who actually close to me, but the person outside there who know me based on the professional and also professional what we call that relations, but they can explain back again. That's basically one of the best thing there, guys. Okay, that's why you have to keep on creating and develop your kind of works that you felt that really basically uh, attached basically to your emotions, to your kind of feelings there, okay? And then there's always a person basically going to appreciate your work there, but you don't have to seek for it. Okay, you just do whatever that you want. All right, okay, you just believe in yourself then and showcase the right. Okay, they always the right. Okay, people will appreciate that. Okay, but that's the things, guys. All right. So remember that, right? Okay. So that's why social media is very important. I love basically to see, okay, all you guys who upload most of the work that you've been done for the assignments, for our assignments that basically writing, put it in social media there, right? Okay. Let people know basically what you guys been grinding there, right? And then try to see basically, okay, if there is a response on that. You didn't have to ask it, but the one of the thing that you can do, you just like someone else works, right? Randomly, and maybe there's a few number of people going to be more interested in your works than anyone, right? Facebooks, IGs, Twitters, Behance, you name it there, okay? Even though Pinterest there, okay? Just share your works there, all right? Because they're going to be a very good kind of what we call that landmark for you guys later on there, okay? Even though skill share there, okay? If you have that kind of slide share there, okay? Actually put into the slides in your PDF format, okay? Then don't forget to claim the copyright or some of the thing about your works there, okay? Who actually create them, okay? And the work that you produce right now is not for commercial values there, right? So don't forget to put some watermarks basically, okay, on your visuals at the same times, okay? So let people see and know basically who the creators behind the works there, right? Okay, always, always there. All right, Lithia is here, right? Alice, Bernice,
Yes.
all right, Zikin, Kai is here,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Ernest,
Yes.
all right, Kevin,
Yes.
Wenshin,
Yes, sir.
okay, Wanshin,
Yes.
Adelina is here, right? Okay, Zishin,
Me, right? Yes.
yeah, Zishin, right position,
Yeah. Morning,
okay,
sir.
and then Jiahui,
Yes.
okay, Choi,
Yes.
uh, Jihong is not here, Hansen,
Yes.
okay, Sinkin is here,
Yes.
okay, Zenkai, you have Zenkai is here, Guoping,
Yes.
and Peiting there, right? All right, let's take a look there, okay? Some of your friend demonstrations over here. basically I've seen basically some of the work from your friend there, okay, and revised and reviewed there, okay, from my Alice basically still doesn't actually commit with the works. So Alice, I'm sorry there, okay. I have to be apologize. I'm going to be fail you, okay, for this, okay, again there, okay, for your poor commitments. Sorry there, Alice, okay. Hopefully you learn from here, okay, and try to get a grip on yourself there, okay, at the same time there, right. This is message for you, Alice, there, okay. Hopefully you're happy in the Wonderland there, right. So this is basically our Tiliakan presentations there. All right. So let's take a look there, okay, for a while, and then we're going to go through not all of that, okay, because we have the limited kind of time, but we can continue back again later on, okay, tomorrow. So you guys can see, okay, one of the things that I want to say, okay, you can learn also from your friend, okay, among ourselves. Okay? Even I'm also can learn also some of the new things or some of the things that are quite might not very what we call that sincere or concerned, okay, about the way that we present ourselves, okay, the way we talk, the way we explain them, how actually we can start that kind of what we call that conversation or our speech there, okay. All these kind of things we always learn it, guys, okay. I never put myself in the perfections kind of what we call that stage there, okay. I always put myself into those learning kind of what we call that stage all the time there. Okay, even though we can mix them around, okay, according to the occasions there, right, okay, because we can change basically our tone, we can change our kind of appearance, we can change our own what we call that the way we behaviors basically occasionally there, right, okay. So there's are things that, okay, to change this kind of things in a split seconds take also skills of arts there, right, it works on that, okay. So let me take a look here right now. Alithia, you reading your script, right? Alithia? All right, the best way basically in the future, okay? What we call that, don't read your script there, right? Okay, just put some points on it, okay? Just practice and put some points on it, and then you try to memorize. Okay, memorize is good things, or try to make it more natural. Okay, whatever that you have in mind. Okay, you can actually speak it out. Okay, even though they're going to be look a bit kind of awkward, and also you miss out some of the words. It's okay. People love to see some naturals there, right? Kind of what we call the way of working there, right? Because I actually been try also to read some of the notes there, right? It takes basically a really kind of what we call that practice also, right? Because you saw basically our ministers a lot, right? They actually read also some of the notes, like those commentators and also the newscasters there, okay? They read basically those kind of words there, okay? Those kind of script there, but the way they interact and also what we call that pronounce, okay? The tone itself is different there. It's just like when you read the storybooks to kids there, okay? To your kids or to your sibling there, okay? Your nephew or whatever that you have, like small kids say, you have to use the tone there, okay? Okay, the tone there to make it more natural there, to make it more people be excited more. Okay? Otherwise, people won't be able to focus on your presentations there. Okay, remember that, guys. Every one of you guys are so there, right? Okay, so we can see some of your some of the presentation of your friend also. Okay, Gerard, the difference there. Okay, learn also from that. Okay, but it's a good presentations, but we need basically that kind of naturality, okay? Even though you're going to miss out wrong kind of what we call that vocab words, it's okay, okay? Right? Because even though when you explain to the foreign people, okay, they want to hear basically your accents, right? Okay? They love basically. They know basically that you came from. We came from other countries there, okay, and we came from different kind of background and research, okay, but they want to hear our essence there, right? Okay, so relax there, okay, to work on that, and don't speak too fast there, okay, too quick there, okay. Just relax a little bit and take some time to work. Unless you basically a marketing person there, okay, really a marketing person there, okay, and you have to sell those products or to talk about products in a few minutes there. Okay, if you saw some of the TVs kind of commentator or some of the TV kind of program there, okay, like MHI there, okay, or some of those like CJ Wow Shop, okay, they talk too fast there, okay, but all the thing that they actually been explained is on point. It's quite difficult also. I also try to develop that kind of what we call that skills there, okay, for these days there, okay, but try to be more relaxed there, okay? You have 5 minutes to 10 there, okay? So, but not too slow like a robot there, okay? But you practice your kind of what we call that speech, okay? To be more comfortable there, all right? Those are the things there, okay? Don't worry there, okay? So it's a good presentations. Learn from there, all right? But don't read there, okay? Too much there, okay? Just relax a little bit there, okay? All right, now we see other things, okay? The way that we saw basically, okay, we actually have been go through your works over here. Okay, one of the things that I want to comment, okay, because you have that kind of understanding to develop the skill for the traditional kind of way, right? So what I think that I want to comment, okay, you have to focus more on your digital kind of methods of working, right? Focus more there, okay? I don't know whether you actually right not spend too much time, okay, on each kind of what we call that developments of these works there. It look like you create the whole things in a very short time there, okay? So spend more time to develop more on the ideas like this. Okay, if you really love to develop basically a certain kind of characters there, okay, this is one of the first steps there, okay. Not the actual kind of process there, but the first step for you to develop the idea first. Okay, for us to develop those ideas there, especially for those who doesn't have that kind of great imagination and experience that with, right? You can use these methods to develop your ideas here, present your ideas to someone else before you're going to redevelop, refine, do a lot of modifications there and draw a few number kind of positions and poses directly before we finalize that. All right. Normally, this is an early stage. It's not basically the final stage for the production works. All right. Remember that. This is an early stage for you to develop those ideas. If someone say, okay, I want to design a mermaid character, okay, so the ideas of this mermaid has to be look like this and this and this, right? I don't want to look like a Disney kind of mermaid, for example. There, some people, some creative directors, some directors will throw these kind of ideas there. So you jot down all these kind of notes, and then you start to sketch out your ideas there. Either you sketch out roughly, okay, from your kind of naked imaginations, or you can actually gather some informations, which is we actually have taught you guys there, and put into mood board and sketch a few number kind of ideas from there. Okay. So thank you, Alicia. There, right? Let me see there. Okay. Okay. Who's next? Basically, okay. Now we go for Bernice there, right? Where is it? Okay.
Hi everyone, hi sir. I'm Bernice Charishi from Multimedia Design from Book 4, and today I will present about my project sheet and animal beast, and this is my five of my sketches from week 12 and week 11. And first, this is the frog prince. This is the fox. And then this is for the deer man. This is for the cat woman, and this is for the old India. And I have choose the frog prince for my last submission of the week 12, week 13, sorry. And why I choose the frog prince is because it's more special, and it's like a fairy tale story from we can hear that from our childhood. And then this is I think it's very a special story for our childhood, when our childhood. And then so I draw this person from the frog. I add the frog at the head and his hand with a frog hand. So that I will choose it for my final submission and the project tree. And I choose the picture, these two picture from the Google, which is the frog, and then the who is like a guy who looks like a prince, like a walking show or fashion show. And then I erase them and combine them like more suitable and not so feeling and don't feel so weird. And this is from example from the frog prince. And this is for my week 12 progression, that I have added some shadows inside it. And then this is my week 13 progression, and I have added like a background for just like a fashion show. And this is a frog prince that I have added more detailings inside it. And so this I think from this project tree, I've learned about how to sketch the die, and from the first week and then until the week 13, I've learned about many things about the drawing and sketches, because before that I didn't learn any about how to sketch the shadows. And then I'm a newbie for here, and then but I have learned that from Mr. Faisal, and then I learned that how can we sketch the person, like we cannot like draw 100% perfectly, and then but we can draw that we can draw like try our best to draw like what we can draw now. And I've learned that so many from Mr. Faisal, and I thank you for Mr. Faisal for teaching us, and then that can improve me a lot from a person who didn't learn any art before, and then until now I can sketch the person like this. And this is for the first week that first week that for the week 5 that first time I used for the tablet with drawing, and I didn't know how to draw the hair properly, so I just sketch it just like draw on top of it, but don't know how to sketch, and then I just draw only. And the shader also I sketch very rough, and then even though the eye and the mouth and the teeth I cannot draw properly, and then just like looks like so terrible. And until the week 13 hour, it looks like more good, and I have some improve at the shadows, and the person will didn't look like so weird and so unsuitable. And then from and then the physical also told that we cannot only sketch it, and we need to use our eyes to look about it, and just draw what you just looking at that, and then don't use your mind to think that, oh, I should draw like this, and then but we need to use our eye to see it and then draw it out, and we didn't look for fully perfectly, but we can do like what we have given our best. So this is all of my presentation, and thank you for Mr. Faisal for teaching me about for 14 weeks. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Faisal.
All right, okay, Bernice, okay, thank you very much there. All right, so if you take a look right now, guys, okay, Bernice, okay, I think you lack of those kind of detailing on the backgrounds, okay, those are the things there, right, okay, because you can actually mix up those drawings and also your backgrounds reference there, okay, to make it a little bit more detailing there, okay, on your presentations, because we actually have been taught you guys also to manipulate, okay, do some modifications there. That's basically some of the tricks that people always use, okay, for illustrations, which is a little bit kind of advanced there, okay, but I actually give you guys some of the important kind of tips there, all right, okay. And of course, okay, you guys can see, okay, I actually have been basically kind of like gave kind of commentations there, okay, from one of the students said there, okay. He said basically the technique that we actually you guys learn basically for this semesters is very direct and very clear without any complexities there. So remember that. I take it that as a part of those compliments there, right? Because yes, all the things that we actually go through, I never hide there, okay. All the tips there, okay. Everything's with there, okay. You just need to go through back again to understand about all the matters and draw a bit more further and more, okay, practice more on those methods there, okay. Even though you can mix up with some of the information, some of the knowledge that you gain from image manipulations, try to blend up together, marriage those kind of those knowledge together there, in order for you to execute your design work. Not going to be separate them, all right? Because image manipulations and illustration has the very strong kind of relations there between those kind of visual kind of making, right? Even though you will find out there's a few number kind of subject also will have that kind of relation, even though in illustration, introduction to art hierarchy, because they're going to mix up all together all these informations in order to produce your actual kind of works in the future, okay? So work on that. Okay, so thank you very much, Devinish, okay? I think some of the ideas that you produced there, okay, other than this, for operating is a bit more better to execute, okay? Especially the owl ninja, right? I love to see that kind of design, right? Okay, thank you, right, Venice. Okay, take a look over here. Okay, Zikin, right? Okay, right here. If you guys want to have a drinks, okay?
Good afternoon, sir.
So go ahead, guys. Okay?
And I am from and I am going to present my assignment project 3. The idea of this illustration is about a wolf, a lonely wolf that is crying in the corner of the room. This illustration actually is inspired by the book that is called Wolf and a Wolf and Seven Sheep. But I changed the story a little bit because the storybook in the wolf in the storybook is actually evil and very bad actually because the wolf eat the lambs, it portrays it is evil. So in my illustration, the wolf that I have drawn is actually a friendly and kind-hearted wolf, and it is different than any wolf that portrayed. The wolf is crying in the corner because the sheep is unwelcome to eat the wolf, and because the sheep imagine that the wolf is actually evil and bad, that is portrayed by the storybook. But in this case, the wolf is actually is kind-hearted. You can see the sheep is having fun and eating at the grass at the field. It is a bright sunny day. You can see shadows. The sun appears from the top left here. My research and development is I find on the internet. The picture that I choose is a woman that is crying, holding her legs. I cut it out, and I also cut out the wolf face, the side view of the wolf face, and place it on top of the woman's face. So I enlarge it and I place it at here and trace it. I use the How Ultimate Inking Thick and Thin brush to trace the wolf head and the woman's body here. I also use the soft round and hard round as well to draw the shadows and the highlighted part here you can see.
All right, guys. One more thing has to be clear there, okay, when you explain your techniques. Okay, even though generally we do some tracing methods on our works, all right, for this thing, for these techniques, but always emphasize on your drawings methods there. Okay, don't use those tracing words all the times, because even though people know that you trace from those references there, but try to explain that you want to emphasize on your drawing skills. Okay, we draw on top of the layers there. Remember that. Set in your mind there, because there's are going to be different kind of value people will see when you trace, when you draw. All right, because when people trace, they become an outline only. That doesn't have any kind of volume of tone, the weight of those strokes, okay, and the quality of line from that illustrations. Okay, so when people trace, normally people will trace an outline there, and they seems to have out of proportion all the time there. They look it too clean and too light and too loose there in terms of proportionates and look artificial at the same time there, okay? So remember that, guys, okay? As a practitioners, as a designers there, okay? Yes, we use the tracing kind of methods there, but we emphasize on our drawing skill from that kind of methods to draw on top of the layer. A little bit kind of complex and complicated there. But if you explain in the correct way, they will look you will look more smarter than the person who actually received the informations, or people that accuse your techniques there. All right, so remember that when you explain carefully, and you can actually cover them back basically from the different kind of way that you actually what we call that pronounce, or you gather those kind of words there. All right, so remember that, because if you look back again, the methods that we do there, okay, if we supposed to trace, why there always are people who cannot draw well there, right? Why? So think about that. So this is a question also you can ask other people when they accuse them. They accuse you that you do this kind of work quite easy there, right? Okay, if they've thought basically quite easy there, okay, oh, you can trace there, right? Why there is a few people, I think a number of people who still cannot draw in the correct way, cannot actually get the right kind of proportion that you saw basically some of the works from your friends there before. Why? Because they don't apply that drawing skills. They're applying basically what they see that you thought in their mind there. They just want to trace. They're supposed to trace there, not supposed to draw there, right? They don't apply those intellectual kind of understanding to develop those aesthetical kind of value on the works there, right? Okay, remember that.
Here I draw because the sunlight appears from the top left here, so it shines down here, and the highlighted part is the leg, the head, and the arms, and also the feet. The shadow part is the back of the body, and you can see the shadow that I draw here at the walls, and also the highlighted part is the sun showing down. The sun shines through the windows. The illustration that I have learned through this semester is by drawing the fur. At first, I draw the fur is like tracing. It's very bad tracing. For example, this is how I trade. Like I just trade on the image without thinking, just trace on it. But I have learned that tracing is not a good thing. It makes the image look like black and it doesn't look realistic at all. So this is how I learned. Like drawing a fur is like it looks like tracing, but it's not tracing. You can see the fur, the shirts, like the shirts and the pants. I also change the human legs into wolf legs, and also the hand as well. There's a huge improvement that I have made in this semester. This is the first drawing that I have drawn in Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. You can see the line is not balanced at all. The shadow is uneven, and the hair stroke is messy as well. And you can see the shirt. It is not. The pressure I apply is too hard at a certain place. You can see here, and some is light. It's too light. And the week 8 I have drawn is actually improved a lot. This is the skirt that I draw, and the shadow is more balanced, and the proportion as well I have drawn. And the week 9, this is the week 8 and week 5 I use the Cal Ultimate Pencil Art to draw all this. But in week 9 I only use the Cal Ultimate Thick Thin and the Soft Round to makes the shadow a bit more realistic, and the highlighted part as well. The lips is you can see some highlighted area on the lips, and the shadow part at the neck and the shirt. Compared to the first drawing and the last drawing that I have drawn, is actually a huge improvement. I can see, in my opinion, I think that illustration is really important for the basic drawing. And you can see the first drawing is not good for me. The first drawing is really bad actually. But through this whole semester, actually is a huge improvement. And therefore, presentation. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
All right, guys, you guys can see those changes that Zikin basically have made from that. Okay? So that's why it's not impossible that unless you don't set your mind correctly to follow exactly what we actually have been taught you guys. Okay? And one of the things that I always remind you guys, okay, you have to remember that, is if you cannot basically draw in the correct way, in your own way there, okay, please basically follow back again all the method that we actually have been go through that first. Okay, try to gain those confidence on those works at the same time. You have to get used to it first, okay, and then later on you slowly develop more further on your kind of skills and understanding, especially your confidence at the same time during the process of practice yourself there. Because drawing still has to be practiced, okay, all the times, especially at your stage right now, okay? Because you don't want to lose that kind of confidence in the short time there when you actually have developed them for almost 14 weeks. All right. So don't stop there, okay? Just enjoy yourself creating whatever that you actually can produce there, okay? Because you saw some of your friends like, I'm not saying that I have a favor with the students known there, okay? But I actually learned also from you guys there, like Adelina there, okay? And some of the students that I actually have shown you guys before, they always have that kind of personal kind of projects there they can produce that. Then I saw also some of you guys like, okay, after this we can go through like Kayi basically, okay, also has a very good kind of understanding on producing her kind of works there. We want to see that from here, okay, to see how actually right Kayi actually present it.
Hi, Mr. Faisal. I'm Kai from the DML Group 4. In this video, I would like to present for the final assignment, which is the trajectory. The reason why I choose these lines as my final output will be, okay, as I'm perfect more element from here. My ideas come from a good reference, as if I have a good reference, I think it's more easier for me to like imagine and to redesign character based on those reference that I gather all the information over here to choose the reference in and choose a reference to into a grading map to easily for me to draw on top rather than the pictures with color. I'm using the lasso tools to crop out the part that I want and try to like push it in the right angles and positions. After done, I will just like merge the picture into a new layer and go with the liquify. I'm using the liquify to like improvise my characters, like make it look more exaggerated. I did the liquify on the arm, body, leg. Yeah, maybe my one doesn't look obvious, but I try hard to apply the texture. I'm using the cow oil round brushes tools for my new sketching. As you can see it, I'm usually trying to like repeat the line consistently in the same directions in order to develop the structure that I want. And also I try to like improve and modify those ideas that I have made some change on the left hand, which is I've changed the weapons hand position. I adding the shadow pad and modified the ring arm for the character. I also tries to like simplify the wearings and extend like the clothes into the V shapes and yeah, I also did some change on the boots, the wearings to a metal elements like strengthens, make it look more like powerful and strengthens its characteristic. Lastly, in order to make the um, look more humans, I added a cloud bird to its skin and tears behind it. After done for my sketches, I create a new layer using the Magic Wand tools like to select my whole subject and press the uh, alternate backspace to paint it with the gray tones. To create a strong silhouette pictures before I add in the shadow there based on my reference, I will study my reference and start to find some of the shadow and using some technique like the lasso tools to select those areas and add in the shading, the highlight. Besides, I also create some stroke texture on the shadow. Lastly, for the background, I would like to find a background that is matched with this character I did. So I think that the horizons will be better express the character personality. I don't want to make the background to stand out than the main character, so I have reduced the opacity and also posterized the background. If you can see clearly, actually, I also like add in some drawing stroke to my background to make uh, it look more harmonious. So for the learning outcome, I think mm, it is really difficult process for someone like me who has no experience in drawing at all from the beginning. But I really gained some insight into drawing in the right way. I learned a lot of drawing technique from this subject. From one of my drawing, I'd like to apply the technique that I learned before to develop it even more for my future. Lastly, I also did a PowerPoint slide like to show my yearly drawings. I like to see the progressions and change for first week. This is reference. I'm trying to draw as many as I can, but from my drawing, I didn't see any quality of line, but I've tried my best to develop the contour line on the first week, as you can see from this. Yeah, I think that is first. So come to the week two, we did the contour line drawing, which is also the line drawing. I think this week was the most uh, challenging week. I feel like insecure when drawing that without seeing. I remember I had drawn almost more than 50 pieces. I think I keep withdraw back again and again. So for the week three, the texture drawing, I think I have some improvement compared with my first week. So for the week four, we have to draw the object, but I lack of shading on the object. And come to the week five, I finally start to learn how to draw digital, and this was my first time using the drawing tablet. Draw in digital, of course. I was not used to it on the first day, but it was easy to use after a long time. So week six, we have to draw the horse. Yeah, I think it's the most relaxed week. I learned to shade the horse with the ultimate pencil part. At that time, I didn't know I could start using the soft brushing for my shading. When it comes to the week seven, I learned how to construct a humans by using different shapes. Finally, come to the week eight. project 1. I learned on how to shape with the sharp brushes and control the pressure of pen. In grade 9 project 2, I did my rough sketches and worked on construct the measurements and also developed the skeletons of the human face in animal structure. For the grade 10s, the final sketches, I learned to apply some techniques to create a business effect, uh, enhance the quality of the sketches in the most simple way. Yeah. Next for the big 11th, the project 3, we did the research and development, the progression. I spent much of my time writing to like about the idea and try to find a good reference. Easy for me to redesign a character. So comes to the big 12, I'm adding shader and highlight for my character. I also try to like create more drawing stroke, add more understanding on it. Lastly, it was my final artwork I choose to present. Um, I think I have some improvement compared with my previous exercise, I guess. By the way, I have learned a lot from this subject. Um, Introductions to illustration. I gained a lot of knowledge. Even this is just an online classes, but I really enjoy it and thank you, Mr. Faisal, for your efforts and patience, and I really appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, okay, there's one from Kaida. Okay, very long presentation. Okay, she used basically the full 10 minutes. Okay, almost 10 minutes to work on that. Thank you, Kaida. Right? Okay, but it's good basically that kind of explanation. Also, I basically doesn't expect for everyone basically going to be explain the whole process or the whole kind of experience there, but it's good. It's a very good effort. Like, I really appreciate it. Okay, and very honored basically that you actually explain the whole process, the way that you actually have changed that. So we can see basically that, guys. Okay, those kind of, we call that kind of like some personal kind of experience there, which is those person who doesn't have that kind of skills there, okay, but can make a lot of major changes on their works if they follow correctly. And that also happens to me previously when I actually learn also from my lectures and my gurus at the same time. Okay, my kind of what we call that respective kind of lectures there. Okay, I did the same things there. Okay, I absorbed all those informations, even though they were not basically doing like me. Okay, they don't actually show the whole process. Okay, one by one, step by step, doing this kind of drawings in front of me there. Okay, they just talk and explain there. Right? Okay, how it works there. Right. But I can absorb that kind of information there, and I try to adapt it and develop them back, okay, from our exercise there, okay, and it gives me a lot of huge impact of changes from there. But you guys, I say, right, okay, because these new generations of eras, we have to change a little bit there. Right? Some of the old methods we have to improvise them, okay. So that's the thing basically that will have. I need to make some modifications, okay, on the lessons to make sure that the whole informations that we go through can be adapted and practically can be done. Not because I have developed the skill for so many years that we can actually produce the works, but I try to break down the methods there, okay? The methods, that the techniques back again for you guys to develop all over again to yourself there, through yourself, okay, the way that you're going to produce them back. Because by the end of the day, whatever basically methods and techniques that we are going to give you guys there, okay, It's all depending on the person itself, right? How they're going to present and preserve them, right? How well they produce and focus them, okay? And you basically have that kind of commitments there, efforts there, just to bust me, okay, in the earlier midnight in the morning there, okay, just to show your progressions there. That's the efforts there, guys. That's the efforts there, okay? So those are the things that we don't have to put into those papers as a part of your process of developing and improve your skills there. It's a part of your efforts there, because we open up our space there, okay, for you guys to direct message and to communicate with us. Remember that, okay? We open up our space there, okay? Our arms wide opens there, okay, for you guys to take those kind of what we call that chances there, okay, to interact, to communicate there, to show basically your progressions there, right? That's the things that very priceless there, guys. Okay, remember that, because we don't actually just work only by those clock. Okay, we work around the clock. Okay, we go against basically our normal kind of what we call that time that we have there. Okay, so out from our formal kind of sessions, we still working and to help the student to assist, okay, to assist basically your kind of developments there, guys. So those are the things is very valuable and precious, and I don't know where you can get all this kind of opportunity there, okay, because I always hunger for that kind of chances, okay, back in the day there, when I want to learn from my lectures, okay, from someone there, okay, but we cannot actually attach those people 24/7 there. Only 3 hours, 4 hour sessions sometimes, but we still doesn't have that time basically to ask more questions because we're too busy to do those kind of exercise and work there, right? But you guys have that kind of chances there. So for those who doesn't use that kind of chances, you guys will miss out those kind of opportunity there, okay? Okay, to be part of those kind of process of working there. But hopefully some of you guys can change that. Not only for this group, because I'm recording session for the rest of those community there, right? Okay. So thank you there, okay, Kai, okay, for your presentations here. All right. So we take a look there, okay. Still have chimes. All right, let's take a look there, okay. What Christine actually have been offered here.
Today, I would like to talk about my final number of presentation. Let me show my idea. This is my first idea. A pair of feet behind the girl, and the girl has a pair of rabbit ears. And amazingly, this girl, like the angle, and can freedom and happy with the light. This one is my second idea. She has a cat head and a cat tail. I want to say the girl is beautiful, like cat and cat leather. This is my third idea. The activity should like a beautiful perfect. I hope it can be protected and sitting clearly in the city. So, let's start with the activity. This is my next idea. He has a lumpy dog head, tail, and has a habit. It shows he has to work hard many times. This is my last idea. He had a fork, tail, and foot. I envision it is a fashion and has a style in his life. background in my artwork. This is my shape in my artwork. And I take some effect in my artwork. This one is my final artwork. I choose this for my final artwork because I think the shape I do is better than other artwork. For project 3, I already learned about subtending picture. That is how to use the Dadu or magic tools to shape. Because Dadu and magic tool is help me to save time, easy and faster to done my artwork. It is convenient that I use the thumb tool. I think I use the other tool and do a perfect shape in my artwork. So now let me show for the beginning artwork.
All right, Christine, right? I would say basically, okay, all right. If you can basically improve more first on your drawing strokes and line, the shadings will come a bit more secondary kind of skills that you can actually improve more, okay? Because not that bad on your shadings there, but I would say if your drawing skills, if your drawing strokes are a bit more solid and more structured there, right, again, and it gives a little bit more advantage on your presentation, especially on the proportion when you draw them back. Remember, okay, we literally trace on top of the layers there. But when you actually can draw correctly based on those methods of, tracing there, right? Okay, it will give more advantage for your presentations there and your illustrations there, okay? So improve, the rest of you guys, please improve your drawing skills there. Either you're going to use pencil brushes or you can use ink brushes there, okay? These two different kind of tools, mediums and brush strokes there, okay, are going to be the core kind of strokes there for you guys to develop there, okay, in the futures there first. If you can master these two brushes there, any brushes that you're going to use later on to draw those lines are going to be easy for you to work there because you can control your quality of line, your pressure strokes over here. All right, remember that. And of course, the proportion when you draw on top of the layers has to be improved and considered, okay? The confidence kind of line there, the quality of line that you produce in each drawings there. You can see from Bernie's kind of presentation just now, all right, the line works. You can see from Kai there, okay? Sorry, okay, Kai kind of what we call that presentation just now, okay? The line work that she produced from there, okay? So it can be improvised and do a bit kind of modifications, all right? Okay, those are the things there, okay? What we call that, Christine, okay? It's good presentations there, right? Okay, you show basically all the what we call that.
I don't patient teaching me how because it was.
Okay, even though, right, okay, Christine basically explained one by one, okay? It's naturally done by her own, basically, kind of what we call that, natural, kind of what we call that, way of presenting the, okay? So, but it will actually improve more and more, okay? You just have to practice, okay, to talk in front of those cameras, right, okay? Or you can learn to explain also to your siblings, to your mom, basically, right, okay? Just to have fun, okay, to work on those presentations at the same time, just to explain more further from there, okay? So thank you there, Christine, okay?
And I hope will improve my artwork.
Okay, I would love to see also basically your previous, the first 1 or 2 weeks kind of presentation of your works there. Okay, those are the things also quite very interesting for us to see, okay, the changes there, okay? But don't forget to practice more and improve more, okay, from here. Okay, this one from Ernest. Okay, we check look and Ernest kind of works, right?
Good evening, sir. My name is Ernest Shuan. I am a student from DML Group 4. Today I'm going to present my final illustration for Project 3. So the main idea behind my Project 3 illustration is a hybrid character. That means it includes body parts from a human and an animal. So, for example, in my illustration, I have the body of a human and I replace the head with a head of a snake. I replace the leg with fish tail. For my research, here are the reference that I'm using. There is a snake, a human, and a fish. So, for the developments of this illustration, here is my development from week 11. I am doing the lines and filling in the shape of my character. Then in week 12, I started shading it. I'm adding details and shading. Then for the techniques that I explored doing this illustration, I'm using the posterize in my background. Then I also tried using a different type of brush. For example, you can see here my illustration, the shading is quite smooth. I'm using a softer brush compared to the pencil brush that I'm using. For example, this is an illustration from a few weeks ago, and I'm using a pencil brush here. Another technique that I explored is using multiple layers in my illustration. You can see here in my project that I have 3 layers. So here, this is my layers for the shading. I have a layer for and I have here multiple layers for my project. And now I will talk about what I learned and the knowledge that I gained through this illustration. First of all, I would say that I learned how to be more flexible. As I just mentioned, I'm now using more than 2 layers. Because previously I'm using only 2 layers for my illustration, so it would be just 1 layer for the line and then another layer for the shading. So now I'm using more layers, and I think it gives me more control over my illustration. So, for example, if I wanted to erase a particular part of my illustration, I could erase that 1 layer. So it's much better this way, because previously, if I wanted to erase, I would have to erase the whole layer and I would have to redo the part I erased also. So I think it's more convenient this way. And another thing that I have gained is improving my shading. For example, you can see here I am applying a lot of shading to the detail of the t-shirt, and compared to my previous drawings, my shading is not that accurate, I would say. And my last point is now that I'm drawing a background as my character, I learned how to apply lighting in my illustration. So for example, here in my illustration, there is a light coming from here, from the top left. So of my character's arm, I apply some light here, so it's much more brighter compared to the arm on the right here. As you can see, it's much darker. So now I will show you a comparison of my final artwork with my earlier illustration. So here is one of them from a few weeks ago, and this one is my first illustration using pen and tablet. And this one is also from a few weeks ago as well. And this one is from another project. I would say that I learned to use a different type of brushes. So you can see that in this illustration, I'm using a pencil to do my shading, and in this final illustration, I'm using a softer brush. And I also would say that I improved my shading because I started to apply more detail. And in my previous illustration, I think the shading is not that accurate.
Yes, if you check it there, okay, if there is a backlight from the left side, okay, this part should be shades at the shadows areas there, right? Same goes to this part there, there, okay. So you have to go through with the kind of shapes, the form of those strokes, of those, the physical of those body shapes, okay, to apply the cast shadow from there, because otherwise they look like there is some light that came from this part there, okay. So that's basically the thing that you have to improve a bit more there, okay, to be more sincere and concerned there, okay, when you add those kind of shadings and light together there, okay. It's very simple kind of methods there, but you have to be more logic at the same time there. I always put myself into their positions there, right? Before I'm going to add some shadings, I will always lock the light and shadows areas there first on my design, okay. They look a bit kind of like we lock the whole things to making the visuals look more solid, rather than just put into those environments to make believe that the whole areas of those ambient of those visuals are going to be realistically have been done naturally through those compositions there. But basically it's all about to lock the shadows according to those light and directions of light and shadows, and then make our drawings look more solid when it comes to add those shadings at the same times, okay. So it's very a process of learning there, okay, but it's good, okay, for you to explore there, okay, and all the best at the same time and keep on practicing there. So let's take a look over here there, okay. I'll do now kind of presentations.
Good evening, sir. My name is Helena, but you can call me Ed for short. I'm from DIY Group 4, and today I will be presenting my final artwork for Project 3. And the final artwork I choose for my presentation today is Delphi Nelson, the Lolita Deer. She was an interesting character to design with the sudden changes and quality for her team. So before I proceed on making to think about her team, everything, on what I should do for her, I first choose what animal I want to draw or to use. So the animal I choose in here is deer. So when I choose deer, one thing that came to my mind when I think one day is Christmas. So I use Christmas as a theme for their face, but with the adding of interesting kid for the Lolita theme for her. But during the process of making her, I feel like she was missing something in her. She's not complete. So I decided to look through my old drawing book, and the drawing I came to was this. And I was like, why not just put drawing her? She feels like she needed that. So I decided to add a book and still complete. So after thinking about the themes, everything, so I proceed on searching for reference and to visualize on what to do for her. As you can see, in the key tip, I gave her some main focus point on which is her her antlers, her dress, and her legs. But because of those was bleached, I didn't put the more. I only put two focus on her antlers and her legs. After that, I looked through the reference everything, searched for the autonomy volunteers, and looked up some human body parts and organs, everything, even though it's gruesome, but worth it. So after searching for the reference everything, I proceed on image multiplication all the image for her. As you see, I took the leg from here and proceed to make for her one. And then I took the antlers from the other deer. I put it for her. As you can see on the right side, this was the first concept for antlers, where it's supposed to be decorated in Christmas theme, everything. But because I changed the concept, I decided to use the same theme as this one, but instead of putting like Christmas ornaments or Christmas decoration, everything, I put human organs instead. So after agreeing to myself on how she's gonna look like, everything, how she's gonna look in a dress, and how her face gonna look like, I proceed on cutting her drawing. At first, I start with the dynamic line and everything, and then after the dynamic line, I work on the texture line. As you can see, instead of using black, I use other colors, any colors, but mostly I use purple from here to give me some. You need to know which is which instead of putting black for me to how to understand which one was which. So after I done the gesture, okay, I proceed on adding the details for her. As you can see on the outfit, I changed a little stuff on her. The front part is shorter than the back. And I gave her like a long train for her back. And all the design, I gave her a long hair too. After I done, I changed the saturation of the color to a dark saturation to make it black. After I done those, and then I add the background, following the survey for putting black and white and polarize it. After I done that, I proceed on doing the lineup for her. After I done the lineup, I proceed to shade as much as I can for her. After all the shading, everything where the main shadow was supposed to be, I proceed on adding a bit more details for her. After done shading, I proceed on putting a black stain because in black and white, red and green is mostly the darkest color. So I use the black to indicate the blood on the dress and everything, on the dress and side of her, parts of her face and legs. So I put until I feel it's done, it's finished for her. So after she done, I complete her, and she was complete. So I did feel like I did improve on the way I use Photoshop, the way I draw my characters already. Like the way you see in the shade, like I mostly put like this. I start playing around the brush size of the brushes I use on, and you can see I put the main shadow. Let's use the big brush to put the main shadow on it. And even after that, I focus on the small details, on the small shadow, and I put. And on the right side, you can see that I play around with more of the pen brushes, everything. As you can see, I use the pen that I draw for the ink stain and for the blood stain, everything. And I use some soft brushes to make it look like it's soaked into the sack of clothing, everything. So after that, I feel like it's done. So I also did use a technique I use for Medibag, but when I use Photoshop, I didn't know that I can use a selection tool to select everything. Because in Medibag, you color and you use Control Q to select the specific color, the specific place that you color, so you can color it without making a mess on the other section of the drawing. So as you can see, I did use the technique in Muse where I color her fully in white, and then I use the selection tool to select her, and then proceed on shading, which gave me a more time to work on the shading, because usually if I don't, I will have a bit more. I have to take more time to clean up the line and everything. But with this, I can put more focus on the shading and more. So as for the comparison of my old art and my new art now, I feel there's a lot of difference, mostly on the strokes. You can see in my old art, the strokes on the female faces and the neck was a rough stroke. As you can see, the line was all there, it was a mess. And as you can see on their faces, the shading line and everything is smooth and clean. As you can see for the cleanliness too, as you can see, there's some of the colors also went out the line. But in Delphi, you can see there's no colors out of the line. Everything is in Delphi. So this is my comparison and everything. And this will be my end. And here is the end of the presentation. Thank you for listening. And bye.
All right.
Oh my god.
Hey, Adrina there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You know basically what missing with your visual work here to enhance more on the visuals there.
Time to clean up.
I would say, okay, most of the works that you've been done before, right? One of the simplest thing that you can do to make your visuals, most of your presentations and your characters more stand out, is basically you can add those backgrounds, kind of glowing light there. Okay, those are the things that, right? Because all the efforts that you put on those visuals right here were basically fade out a little bit on those characters that, right, on those detailing, because you know the background is quite dark there, okay? And the characters is basically came from the concept of magical kind of what we call that entities there, right? Okay, wizard, magical. Okay, you should put those glowing effects on the background there, okay, to give more enhancement on your characters there, especially. You remember, okay, in the darkness there always light, okay, that kind of thing, right? So if you really want to emphasize on these presentations later on, right, okay, because all the detailing, all the effort that you have put on site, right, okay, you just put those kind of glowing effects a bit, okay, like that kind of glowing effect that I actually have taught you guys there, okay. That's a very simplest kind of methods that they can enhance more. They will give more impact on the visuals entirely there, okay, because you don't have to do a lot of a very complex kind of detailing there, okay, because just to enhance more. That's why I give you guys all these kind of tips and tricks there, okay, that basically I'm using for my own works, okay, when I present some of the works a bit more quickly, okay, to develop that kind of presentations there. So I don't know whether maybe in the future you will explore and learn more on your own, okay, but those are the tips that I actually add in our lessons, which is basically is a very important kind of techniques that can have a very quick kind of change there, okay, on presenting your works there. That kind of things there, guys, okay, remember that, guys, okay, apply from there. So that's basically that we can actually get into those kind of understanding, okay? Even though some of the detailing that Adrina actually have done is very impressive, and also a very good, nice efforts there, guys, okay, you can see there, okay. And you guys can learn also the process of working from her there, okay, the process of working from her there, okay. So that's how I say, right, you don't actually, you take basically taking Adrina kind of what we call that kind of efforts of presenting her work as a part of your positive kind of competitors there, okay, competitions there, okay, not negative competitions but positive competitions that you might going to say, okay, I try to develop basically on my own later on my own style, but I can adapt also, okay, the thing that she has done, but I will compete a little more different kind of way. You can search on those techniques and styles, guys, all the time. Remember that, right? Okay. So don't forget, okay, because each one of us had that kind of unique ability to develop our own styles there. But it takes times, but just get it flow and go through with it there, okay? Enjoy yourself on the process of working there. And use all this kind of your friends kind of way of working as a part of your journey to process of to develop your own way, okay? Because each one of us, you guys can see that, okay, you guys have different kind of way of approaching your works there, okay? So don't be looked down on your own work, okay? You still have more time to work on that, but you need to find some unique way to work there. Because like myself, okay, nowadays when I saw basically, right, in our social media there, Facebook, Instagram, okay, there's a lot of new generation, newcomers there. The person who actually I know there, okay, in the beginning of those journey there, okay, they start to develop their own kind of way that basically more better than what I produced there, right? Okay. But what I actually told myself all the times, I will try and find my own way there, okay? And I will develop different kind of way to approach my works rather than I just try to compete in the same directions there. Because there's a lot of million kind of style that you can produce, guys. You just have to explore them. If you open up Behance, Pinterest, you can see tons of million techniques that you have to work. Everything that you can do, that you can produce, it's all in Photoshop. It's all in every kind of application that you guys will be using. Okay, AI, Photoshop, combine them all together. Okay, even though Adobe Animate or Flash, or that whatever basically apps that you have known there. Okay, it's all the tools there. You have that tool in front of you, guys. Okay, but the thing is, creativity is how you work on that. Okay, one of the methods that I show you guys, also one of the valuable methods, okay, that I use basically some inlay, paste into kind of textures that methods, okay, and combine with some shading, some drawing, some multiply, some effects there, okay. All those kind of things will give you advantage to find a unique way of your voice in your presentations. Okay, all right, good luck. We see you guys, okay, tomorrow there, okay. Go ahead. Thursday there, right? Thursday, okay, on Thursday for our last sessions. We go through back again some of the words that we go through here. And good luck and thank you very much and all the best. And hopefully these sessions will, if you think that you want to improvise a bit on your presentations, on your visuals, go ahead, guys. Okay, for those who actually think, can I actually submit a bit more? Okay, can I actually just put it right here on those presentations? Then I will check look everything, okay, not basically on our live sessions, but I have to go through back again the whole thing later on there. So thank you guys, okay, and have a good day and good luck. And I appreciate basically your attendance for today there, okay. So all the best and take care. Have a good lunch at the same time. Stay safe, right? So I see you guys around later on, and bye-bye. All right, welcome there, guys.